Record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I sustained an objection to the state's last comment before the noon recess. You are to disregard that comment. I'm going to also draw your attention to page 11 of the preliminary instructions. What counsel say in opening statements is not evidence, nor is it argument. The purpose of an opening statement is to help you prepare for anticipated evidence. Mr. Martinez, you may continue.
Good afternoon. When we left off, we were talking about the proposed mitigation as set out in the jury instructions. It's the same mitigation that was discussed with you by defense counsel and the And the second proposed mitigating circumstance advanced by the defendant was that she was just 27 years old when she committed the offense. You can look at the chronological age, but you also are to consider the sophistication of this individual. This is an individual that left home when she was 17 years old, an individual that went out into the world, if you will. According to them, they touted her as somebody who was working jobs to make sure that she could make ends meet and that she could live. So this is an individual that has had world experience. She has somebody who has worked, so somebody that has been involved in relationships of long duration. She has also been a parent or a pseudo-parent to somebody. So in all of that, you take a look at everything. You just don't take a look at the number. And 27 years old is not a child either.
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Granted. Jury will disregard the last statement.
An individual reaches the age of majority at the age of 18. Those are the individuals that are allowed to go out and fight a war. She was 9 years young.
Objection argumentative. Move to strike.
Overruled the statement.
And also keep in mind when they talk about the 27 years old is that Travis Alexander, we're going to use that phraseology because you have to remember that you keep in mind or you consider all of the evidence, you just don't consider things in a vacuum. If we're going to use this language, Travis Alexander was just 30 years old.
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative,
Sustained.
improper argument.
Sustained.
Move to strike, move for mistrial.
Granted. Jury will disregard.
One of the things you can consider is all of the facts that are presented in this case, including Mr. Alexander's age.
Objection is improper statement of the law. It's introducing an aggravating factor that doesn't exist.
Overruled. You may continue.
So when you talk about 27 years old, consider that not only in a chronological fashion, which is beyond the age of 18, but also in terms of the sophistication. There's a claim here under number 4 that the defendant suffered both physical and emotional abuse as a child. Well, they didn't tell you where that's going to come from, but you will find when the evidence is presented that the only person that alleges that is the defendant. And one of the things that you can consider this is the defendant's character, propensity, history or record or circumstances of the offense. One of the things that you can consider in evaluating that is that the defendant is an individual who has a problem with the truth.
Objection, vouching.
Overruled.
When she was arrested, she lied to the police officers and indicated that she wasn't there. She also indicated that it was another individuals, a male and female, that did it. And as part of this case, when she talked to the psychologist who found that she was suffering from PTSD, he based his finding that she had PTSD on this event of 2 individuals coming in and doing this sort of thing.
Objection argumentative mischaracterizes the testimony in the prior trial.
Overruled.
So this is an individual that when it behooves her, she will say whatever she needs to
Objection
say.
argumentative.
Sustained.
Pendelli. Move to strike.
Granted.
And
Jury will
so
disregard.
this individual, this fact that they have here, keep in mind who's the person that's saying it. And you can't consider their, as I said before, their character and their propensity when you are considering what this individual is telling you. You look at that, you don't consider it in a vacuum. The other one that they talked to you about, number 5, is she suffered both physical and emotional abuse during the relationship with Mr. Alexander. Again, as they've admitted, there's nothing to corroborate her word. It's just her word, this individual telling you that. An individual that we've already talked about as an issue with the truth.
Objection, vouching argumentative.
As it relates to this particular case. Over and over, on a variety of circumstances, as previously described to you, she has been less than truthful. Number 6 is the same thing. It's just a mirror, almost, of number 7. What they're talking about is the same thing. It's sort of double counting.
Objection, argumentative. Move to strike.
Well, take a look at number 5. It says, Ms. Arias suffered both physical and emotional abuse during her relationship with Mr. Alexander. The abusive nature of Ms. Arias' relationship, oh gee, what are they talking about? What kind of abuse?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
Strike.
Overruled.
They're talking about the same thing. It's an abusive relationship and a physical...
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Yes, granted.
And with Mr. Alexander caused Ms. Arias to suffer extreme emotional stress at the time of the incident. The point to be made here. One of the things that these jury instructions tell you, and one of the things that you indicated during the jury selection process, is that when they're talking about the incident, they can talk about stress, they can talk about everything they want, but you are required to accept the fact that this has been a premeditated murder. A murder where, if you take a look at the elements, it has already been established that the defendant acted with premeditation, which means that she intended to kill another human being or knew she would kill another human being, and then it indicates that an act is not done with premeditation if it is the instant effect of a sudden form of heat of passion. None of that is here, and that is what you are to accept. Additionally, you're also required to accept, per the law, the aggravating, but the aggravating circumstance that was proved, which was that this was especially cruel. That the individual in this particular case, Travis Alexander, suffered either emotionally or physically as a result of her attack. The other aggravating factors that they talk to you about are number 9, her psychological makeup compared her ability to cope with the tumultuous relationship she had with Mr. Alexander. This 27-year-old who was involved with a man with a child, no indication that there were any problems there, also was involved in a previous relationship to that, what they termed long-standing kind of relationship. And then there was also the Bobby Juarez relationship, the work that they talked about. She was living on her own, but this person, according to them, has a psychological makeup which impaired her ability to cope with a tumultuous relationship. We know that this individual, in terms of coping with the relationship, moved away to Wairika.
Argumentative. Motion. Move to strike.
Overruled.
Moved to Wairika, and when she moved to Wairika, continued having this relationship with this individual. We also know that when she was here, and they were not together, this individual that's involved in this, or that they claim has a psychological makeup, would sit outside on at least one occasion and look at him while he was making out with another girl. This individual that when he breaks up with her, she moves closer. This same individual, as we've described, had this relationship with Bobby Juarez, where after they broke up, she would call him, hang up, she would call him and tell him that the world was coming to an end. And so, last one that you have is that she is remorseful for her conduct. The only way that you will know that is by her telling you. This person that, as you know, is like police officers.
Objection, argumentative, move to strike.
Sustained.
Well, was she truthful when she told the police officers that she wasn't there?
Objection, argumentative, move to strike. Motion for mistrial. Can we approach?
Motion for mistrial is denied. Objection sustained.
She did that lie to the police officers, didn't she?
Objection, Your Honor. Again, argumentative,
Sustained.
motion to strike, and again, I'm going to
Sustained.
renew my motion for mistrial. It's the same objection.
Overruled.
She told the police officers that she wasn't there. You have photographs that show that she was. She told the police officer that it was a man and a woman who did it. She then said that she did it herself. She claimed that this telephone call this phone where she recorded this sex conversation, that it was lost and reported it lost to the police. Yet the conversation turns up here in court. That's the individual that is going to stand before you and indicate to you that she is remorseful. If you take a look at that, there are no mitigating circumstances.
Objection, argumentative, move to strike.
Overruled.
There are no mitigating circumstances in this case. None. And the only just punishment in this case, because of the crime, is death. Thank you.
Objection, improper argument. It's inconsistent with the law. Move to strike the last sentence.
Overruled. The state may call its first witness.
The state calls Michael Melendez. You then conducted an examination, right?
Yes,
What was the program that you used to conduct the examination?
NCASE.
And NCASE, does it stand for anything? What is it?
It's just the name of the program, the software, the company that produces it.
And did you find some photographs in there that were not deleted? In other words, we talked about deleted photographs. Did you find some photographs that were not deleted, that were actually on the camera?
Yes.
So approximately how many were not deleted?
I don't recall a number, sorry.
There was a number of them, right?
Yes,
Did you then find some photographs that had been deleted?
yes.
Take a look at exhibit number 261. Is this a photograph that you recovered?
Yes, it is.
And you were at the house, right?
Yes,
What is this right here? This is foot?
yes.
What is toward this end over here of the building?
I believe that's a hallway leading to the bathroom area.
So the bathroom is over here.
Yes,
Right? And you see this is carpet, right?
yes.
What's on this side?
Looks like carpeting.
It's carpet. What kind of room is there?
I'm sorry?
What kind of room is there?
Oh, that's the bedroom.
And when you obtained this image, was it a situation where it was this clear, right side up, or explain to me about this image?
That particular image was completely dark when I first observed it.
If it's completely dark, why'd you retain it?
When I looked at it, it just looked shadowy. It looked like there was shadows in there, and I just wanted to make sure there was nothing in there.
So when you say that it's, what would cause something to be, since you know about cameras and obtaining things, what would cause an image to be dark?
The lighting conditions, it could be out of focus.
And so you see this dark thing, and so what happens then? What do you do next?
I just lightened it up using software that we had, and I just made it a little lighter.
Did you notice whether or not it was right side up or upside down?
This particular image, I don't recall if it was upside down or right side up when
You remember that you previously testified in this case?
Yes.
And do you remember that you testified that this was upside down?
Yes.
So if you testified to that previously, are you going to quibble with that?
No.
And there is a timer, right?
Yes.
And what's the time?
5/32/16,
And the date?
June 4th, 2008.
So you recovered this image, and it shows us what it shows us, right?
Yes.
There was also another image that you recovered from that photograph, from that camera. Take a look at 163.
Yes.
And you said you were in the house, right?
Yes.
If you were in the house, you know what this is?
Ford.
And then there's something up here, right?
Yes.
You may want to look at this. What is the time on this exhibit number?
Yeah, that's a little bit.
163.
5:33. I can't see the rest. I'm sorry. I don't have my reading glasses with me.
Okay. Turn it in so we can take a look at it. Can you read it now?
Yes, 5:33:32.
And can you read the date?
Yes, 6408.
And the exhibit 162, time on that one is what?
5:32:16.
So is this exhibit before or after this one?
Almost before.
Exhibit number 161. Is this another image that you recovered?
Yes.
And the time on this one is what? Let me bring this to you.
Well, it's 5:31:14.
So if we then take a look at exhibit 162, which one was first? This one or the previous photograph?
The previous one.
And were you inside the bathroom at any time?
Yes.
You look at the ceiling of the bathroom.
Yes.
And anything look familiar there in this exhibit that we're looking at, the one that timestamp of 5:31:14?
The lighting.
And the light, where?
It's on the right-hand corner there.
Is it on the ceiling, the floor, the side? Additionally, did you find photographs of an individual in a shower?
Yes.
And take a look at some of them. This is exhibit number 141. What time is on it?
5:22:24.
Exhibit number 142. Another photograph. What's the time on that one?
5:22:36.
And sequentially, this exhibit that shows the back is after, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit 143. Time on that?
5:22:54.
Exhibit number 144. What are we looking at there?
Image of Mr. Alexander's back.
Were you there when the body was found? Or did you see the body there? Or
No.
When you were there, had the body been removed already?
I believe it was removed.
Exhibit 145. What's the time on that one?
5:23:24.
Exhibit 146. What's the time on that one?
5:23:30.
Exhibit 147. What's the time?
5:24:30.
Exhibit 148. Time on that one is?
5:20, still a bit out of focus. 5:24:48.
Exhibit 149. Time on that is?
5:24:52.
Exhibit 150. What's the time?
5:24:56.
Exhibit 151. Time?
25:00.
Exhibit 152. What's the time?
5:25:16. 5:26:56.
Exhibit 154. What's the time?
5:27:12.
Exhibit 155. What's the time?
5:27:18.
Exhibit 156. Time on that is?
5:27:28.
$157. See that?
Yes.
And the time?
5:28:54.
I'm going to show you exhibit 157 and 158 and ask you whether or not the position of the individual, Mr. Alexander, has changed.
Yes, he's gone from a standing position in 156 to a seated position in 157.
And exhibit number 158. What time on that one?
5:29:12.
Exhibit 159.
5:29:20.
And the individual, Mr. Alexander, is standing or seated?
He's seated.
Exhibit 160. What time is on?
5:30:30.
We then take a look at the first photograph that we talked about at 141. See, this one is 5:30:30. The other one is what?
5:22:24.
There's a difference of roughly about 8 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Did you find some other photographs in this camera? We talked about 2 sets of photographs, some inadvertent ones, what appear to be inadvertent, and then also some ones in the shower. Did you find some others?
Yes.
Start with exhibit 164. Let's start with exhibit number 166. Is that a male or a female?
Male.
Bring this a little bit closer. Is that right there? Recognize what
Yeah.
this is right here?
Personal lubricant.
Does it go by a name?
KY.
And what's the time on that?
1:44:50.
When it says unallocated clusters, what are we talking about?
What happens in the software that I use, if it's deleted and it's an unallocated space and it's deleted, but it could recover the file directory and all that information that tells it when it was created and when it was put there, then it will give you more information. It will consider it to be deleted. When it doesn't have all that information and it can't tell you when it was created or when it was deleted or when it was put there, it'll give you unallocated cluster, meaning it doesn't know where it originated from.
In other words, it doesn't know where it originated from in the camera?
Right. It doesn't know when it was created.
But the time here, what does that mean?
That time there is put there is recovered from what's called metadata. And when you take a photograph, when you take the image of the photograph, the camera will embed information in that image also.
And the date, is that something that you're saying is wrong? Is that what you're telling me?
No, that's the date from the camera.
Pardon?
That's the date that's on the camera.
And the time?
Yes.
Does that come from the camera? also?
Yes.
How is that related to this photograph, and why do we have this unallocated clusters issue?
When you delete something, sometimes it could be overwritten. So part of that file could be overwritten. In this particular case, part of the file that tells you the time and date that it was put on that system is overwritten.
Then how are you able to get the date if it's overridden?
Because that part of the image has that information from the metadata that's placed there by the camera. So that's separate from the file information.
In other words, this photograph, the time, the date, we have it overwritten, but there's another portion of the memory stick that brings them or joins them together
Right, that has that information, yes.
for this particular
For that
photograph.
particular photograph, yes.
Take a look at some of the other photographs. Here, number 164. What's the time on that one?
1:42:53,
And the date?
June 4th, 2008.
Is it 165? What's the time?
1:44:00.
Is it 167? Just all the time.
1:47:15.
Remember we talked about the personal lubricant, the KY?
Yes,
See this right here?
yes,
What is that?
the KY.
Why is this one all blurry?
Again, it could be based on lighting, it could be on the camera moving or the subject moving.
Are you familiar with thumbnails?
Yes,
What is a thumbnail?
it's a smaller image of a larger image.
Could it be perhaps that 167 was a thumbnail?
That is possible, yes.
But what's a thumbnail? Why is it a thumbnail different than something else? Explain to me.
When you have,
Let me stop. Explain to me how thumbnail is created.
it's created by the camera when you take the picture originally.
How is that different, for example, than exhibit 166? Why is this one not a thumbnail? Attention.
Well, it's because it takes an image of it takes two. It'll make two. It'll make a small one and a larger one. The reason the camera does that is when you go back on that little viewfinder and you want to see the images you took, if it puts only the big image, in order to see it clear, you're going to have a big screen. So to be able to see those little images clear, they make them smaller so you can go through them and see what you took.
And so, for example, this one, 167, if it were a thumbnail and you try to make it bigger to look at it, would that create problems with the definition of the photo?
Yes, it will create that distortion because the pixelization is meant for a small image. So when you try to spread it out open, it becomes blurry.
Exhibit 168. Do you see this right here?
Yes,
What is that?
the KY.
And this one just says unallocated clusters. What's up with that?
That means in that particular photo, everything was gone as far as me being able to get any information as far as the time and date.
We go back to exhibit 167. You see where the KY is?
Yes,
If we go back to 168, it's the KY in approximately the same location.
yes,
And exhibit 169, again, unallocated clusters.
yes, correct.
I don't have any questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Sir, one of the things you were telling us moments ago was that in June of 2008, you were working for Mesa Police Department in the computer forensic unit, correct?
Correct.
And prior to that, you were telling us you had some training before you learned to be a part of that unit, correct?
Yes,
And part of that training would have been on the NCASE software.
yes.
Will you let me finish my question, please? Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
You were trained on NCASE, correct?
Yes,
And that was the program that Mesa PD and other law enforcement, if you will, that Mesa Police Department and other law enforcement agencies would use back in 2000, correct?
correct.
And before becoming a, I think you said CFS, if I heard you.
CFCE.
I'm sorry.
CFCE.
Okay, CFC. What-
CFCE. Computer Forensics is Computer Forensics Certified Examiner.
Okay. And that's what you were with the Mesa Police Department?
Yes, that's
After you went through this training?
right. I was certified. That's what that's for.
Okay, thank you. Now, sir, part of this certification and working in this unit, I would imagine that you would be familiar with the protocols that Mesa Police Department employed at that time in terms of handling computer evidence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you would have followed all those procedures, correct?
Yes.
And one of those procedures, if you're moving an item of evidence, you would sign a log out that you were taking a particular item in and out of evidence and doing work on it, correct?
Right. I would go, if I personally went to the evidence section to collect it, yes.
Okay. Now, sir, in terms of the work that you did on this case, you worked on more than just the camera, correct?
Yes.
And there were numerous items, in fact, correct?
Correct.
And one of those numerous items was a laptop computer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, in kind of your role with Mesa PD in June of 2008, it was your job to not only analyze those, but collect them at the scene so as to ensure no data was lost or information was lost, correct?
Correct.
So when you went to Mr. Alexander's home in June of 2008, you followed those procedures when you collected the laptop and other evidence, correct?
Correct.
So when you collected the laptop, you did so in a way to make sure that no evidence was lost, that that laptop was 100% as it was and had all the information on it, nothing would be lost, correct?
Correct.
As it relates to the laptop computer,
Yes.
you performed an examination also using NCASE, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as an officer that would follow Mesa Police Department procedure, you wouldn't have used any other software on that computer, correct, in order to do your forensic work?
It depends on what you're referring to.
Well, you said you used NCASE on the laptop. That was the tool that you used.
That's the tool I use to create a mirror image of it and to analyze it.
Right. But you wouldn't use any other tools in order to research or alter that hard drive, correct?
Not to alter the hard drive, no.
And the reason actually that you're using NCase or programs such as this is for that very reason, right? So the hard drive doesn't get damaged and no information is lost, correct?
Correct.
That's the goal.
Yes.
Yes. And you follow those procedures with that goal in mind, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, once you got the hard drive, once you had that mirror image made, referencing the laptop.
Yes.
Okay. Once you had that image made, you also follow Mesa Police Department's policy regarding pulling the information off that hard drive, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And sir, you mentioned, at least it appears anyway, you no longer work for the computer forensics unit, correct?
No, that is correct. I no longer work for you.
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear you over there.
I no longer work for that unit. That is correct.
And when did your role in that unit end?
Off the top of my head, I believe it was November of 2008.
November of when?
2008, I believe.
Okay.
I'm going off the top of my head, so.
Okay, well, I'm not asking for an
Yeah,
exact date.
right.
Month and year is good enough for my purposes. Thank you. Now, sir, so having left that unit in November 2008, you wouldn't have any reason to go back and look at the evidence in this case, correct? It wouldn't be your role.
Correct.
Okay. So, referencing then specifically this laptop computer, after your work with this laptop was done in 2008, we know it was before November of 2008 because that's when you left the unit, right?
Right, yes.
Okay. So we know that you terminated your work on this laptop by November 2008, and you would have done nothing to it since then, right?
That I recall, that's correct.
Okay. That you recall, that leaves wiggle room.
Well, because I have been called back for other cases to work on something that may have left unfinished or something they wanted my opinion on.
Okay.
So, yeah, because I was still certified throughout that year, so.
But you didn't go back, we won't find your name on an evidence log going back related to this computer, this laptop, doing more forensic work?
I don't recall removing it from evidence, no.
Now, sir, when one pulls evidence off the computer, it's kind of a situation where it is what it is, right? It's either there or it's not, right?
Correct.
Okay. And there can't be really much quibble with whether or not something exists or not. It's on the computer, it can be seen or it can't be seen, it can be found or it can't be found, right?
Correct.
And in that regard, then, as it relates to this laptop, did you find any pornography on Mr. Alexander's computer?
I did not.
You found no traces of it?
No.
Now, as it relates to these photographs, you were shown several photographs, and they all had a date and time on them.
Yes.
And I want to make sure we understand correctly what's going on in terms of your analysis of this camera. You talked about a memory stick or an SD card, correct?
Yes.
And that is actually would you agree with me, I guess it's like a little hard drive?
Correct.
Correct? Yes. Okay. And so you're doing an analysis much like you would do on a computer. You're looking at a computer chip, if you will, and it is providing you information that's either there or not there.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And as it relates to the time and dates on these pictures, it is at least a certitude in your mind, because that's what the computer shows, not because you're infusing anything into it, but that's what the computer shows, that the date and time on all these pictures, the ones that were available, is correct. Is that right?
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Redirect.
With regard to the issue involving the pornography and the laptop computer, when did you conduct the test back in 2008?
Yes.
And what is the process that you undertook to see whether or not, well, first of all, what's pornography?
I would refer to pornography as images of people that are naked.
Okay, well, so if I ask you about Exhibit 168, and you were asked a question about pornography, is that pornography?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, beyond the scope of his expertise, he's a computer forensic analysis, not a pornography assessor.
And so how did you go about looking to see if you found these pornographic images? What did you do? Take me from step one to the end. What did you do?
First, I started by doing a search of the drive using a file header for JPEG images.
When you say file header for JPEG images, that sounds great. That doesn't tell me what you're doing.
Basically, what happens, most people are familiar with extensions to files. So the file be, let's say, Mr. Martinez.jpg. Well, you will assume that's a JPEG because it's .jpg, but it doesn't have to be.
What's JPEG mean?
It's just, that's the image, that's the initials for an image file. So you will assume, okay, if it says .doc, that is the document file. It doesn't need to be a document file because that last extension doesn't really control what's in the file.
So JPEG is sort of, could be short for picture.
Yes.
Images.
Yes.
So you first go in there. Is this, when you first do that, is that part of this unallocated space, or is that part of something?
Search the entire drive for any images. And in this case, a file header from an image in hex will be FFD8, let's say. So when you're searching for those, you're searching for everything that starts with that file header. So any image created is going to start the same way.
So when you say that you looked at all images, you looked at all images that started with JPEG, is that what you said?
Well, all images, any type of image, MPEG, that's more of a video, but any type of image, whether it be a GIF or a JPEG, is going to start with FFD8.
Start with what?
FFD8. That's the hexadecimal. It's going to be FFD8. So that's what I search for. So if, let's say, if it's a file that's an image file, it's going to start that way. No matter what you do, it's going to have to start that way.
And this file, is it, when you're looking for it, is it both in a non-deleted portion of the computer as well as the deleted portion of the computer when you're looking for it?
Objection, compound question.
Over. So you looked inside the computer, and by computer I'm talking about the laptop that you're being asked about. That's the first thing that you did.
Yes.
Find any pornographic pictures.
No.
What did you do next?
I went through all the images that I could locate. When I looked at every image that was in the computer.
So you looked at every image that it could be photographed. You looked at every single one.
Every single image in the computer I looked at.
Okay? And did you find any pornographic images?
I did not.
What did you do then?
Then I looked at the internet history, anything that would indicate what occurred. So I'll look at internet history.
Let me stop you there. When you look at the internet history, why are you looking at that?
To see where the person was going to on the internet.
So who cares in terms of pornographic images?
Oh, you mean as far as looking for pornographic images?
Right.
No, not with that in mind. I'm looking for other things.
So the internet search is not necessarily restricted to pornographic images.
Right. It could have names of pornographic websites and things like that, which I did not find.
So did you find any pornographic
No.
websites when you went on the internet search?
No, I did not.
What did you do then?
As far as looking for pornography?
As far as this laptop.
Laptop. The next thing would be to look at any Word documents and read them. Any note files, anything that has any writing as far as any emails that I could locate, anything like that I could find in the computer.
And after that, what did you do?
After I did all of that, I concluded my examination of the computer, of the drive.
And having done all of those examinations, did you find any pornographic images?
I did not.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Looks like we have one juror question. Counsel, please approach. A juror has a question for you.
Yes.
The phone that was lost, the sex message that was it recorded on an application that was downloaded to the phone?
I don't have any information on that, I'm sorry.
Follow up from the state.
Was a heliophone with a conversation, a sexual conversation, ever submitted to you for your analysis?
No.
Mr. Nermi?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Any other questions from the jury? You may step down.
Thank you.
State may call its next witness.
We would ask that Detective Melendez be subject to recall.
Yes, you are subject to recall.
State calls Esteban Flores.
Be sworn.
Yes, right up here, please.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God?
You proceed.
Your name, sir?
My name is Esteban Flores.
And who do you work for?
I work for the City of Mesa Police Department.
Drawing your attention back to June of 2008, what did you do for them?
I was in the homicide unit. I was a detective assigned to homicide.
Are you still in that unit? No, I am. How long were you in that unit?
I was in that unit for approximately 8 years,
When did you leave the unit?
about 2 months ago.
Drawing your attention to the murder of Stephen Alexander. Did you have occasion to participate in the investigation of his murder?
Travis Alexander?
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Travis Alexander.
Yes.
And what is it that you did, or what were you assigned to do with regard to the Travis Alexander case?
I was assigned as the case agent, and that means I'm in charge of the investigation, supervising it, directing the investigation, analyzing evidence, and trying to figure out who killed Travis Alexander.
Did you go out to the scene?
Yes, I did.
And when did you get out to the scene?
It was on the evening, I believe, of June 4th of 2008.
Actually, was that when wasn't his body recovered sometime after?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
I'm sorry. That's when the murder occurred, but it was on the 10th.
That you actually went out? Prior to going in there, did you just waltz in, or was there a search warrant that was associated with this? How does this happen?
That evening, we were called. We were informed that there was a body found inside of Mr. Alexander's home. Detectives arrived. We received a briefing from the patrol officers who had already been in the house and observed Mr. Alexander's body in his bathroom. So we went in to determine if it was actually a homicide situation, a suicide, if there was any foul play. And at that point, we secure the scene. Everybody is told to leave the home, and it's secured by police officers until we get a search warrant.
Did you go at night, or did you go during the day?
It was at nighttime.
So the search warrant, when was it executed?
It was the following morning.
And as part of the time in between there, did you have occasion to talk to anybody?
Yes.
And who is it that you spoke to?
I spoke to a number of different people. I spoke to Mr. Alexander's roommates. I spoke to the reporting party, which was Marie Hall, and other friends.
When you were talking to any of those people, did any of them receive a call from Jodi Arias?
I can't recall.
And do you remember whether or not you told them not to take the call? Do you remember anything like that?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Taylor Searle, did you talk to him?
Yes.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Did you talk to any roommates then?
Yes.
What are the roommates then?
Oh, goodness. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Right? So, but you did talk to them, right?
Yes.
Are there photographs taken at the scene?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look. Zachary Billings, does that name ring a bell to you?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Overruled.
Does it?
Zachary Billings, and in,
Well, my question is, does it ring a bell to you?
yes, it does.
Who is Zachary Billings?
It's one of Travis's roommates.
Did you talk to him?
Yes, I did.
Exhibit number, did you talk to him that night?
Yes,
And when you were talking to him, do you remember whether or not he received a call? Yes or no?
yes.
And about what time were you talking to him?
It was late at night.
Said he received a call from. Remember or not? If you do, you do.
No, I do not.
Exhibit number 1, what are we looking at here?
This is Travis Alexander's home and the crime scene.
Okay? The front door, as we look at it, where is it?
Where the white vehicle is, it's to the left.
It would be right about here.
Yes,
And what is this right here?
that is a garage.
Does the garage have a pad so such that if you have a code to it, you could get into it?
Yes, it did.
Take a look at exhibit number 2. See this right here?
Yes.
What is that?
That is the keypad for the garage.
This car here, do you know what kind of car that is?
That is a Prius
Do you know who that car belongs to?
to Travis Alexander,
This car here, do you know who that belonged to?
one of the roommates.
And the other car, who did that belong to?
Roommate.
And exhibit number 3. Those numbers there, is that the street address?
Yes, 11428 East Queensboro Avenue was the address.
And this is the front door, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit number 4. What are we looking at?
Into the main garage of the home.
And this right here is what?
A doorway from the garage leading into the home.
And if you walk in there, what would you find if you continue walking through that door?
There is a laundry room,
And so what would you find in that laundry room?
a washing machine, a dryer.
Exhibit number 5. That shows us the story, got it right.
Yes.
Exhibit number 6, this door here, have any connection with this door here in exhibit number 5?
Same door, opposite side.
And these are the washer and the dryer, correct?
Yes.
This is obviously the dryer, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is the what?
The washing machine.
Exhibit number 7. What is this right here?
The alarm system keypad.
And this door, where does it lead to?
I believe that's the same door leading into the garage.
I believe the picture, look at it.
It's hard to see from here.
See that, see the design, and see that here in exhibit number 6?
Yes.
So is that the door that leads to the garage? Exhibit number 6. Shows the washing machine on the dryer, correct?
Yes, it does.
Exhibit number 8, what are we looking at there?
That is on the top of the washing machine, and it's a reddish brown stain.
Exhibit number 9. What is that?
Photograph of the same stain at with a different angle and a number placed next to it.
What is the number denote? What does it designate?
It designates an item of evidence for collection.
It what now?
It denotes an item of evidence for collection purposes.
And how come there's, well, if we go to exhibit number 10, why do we see a B here? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, as you saw in the other photograph, there were two number ones. One of them is 1A, and the other one is 1B.
If it's something like that, obviously you can't collect it. Do letters have anything to do with that or not? In other words, if it's an item such as blood that you take swab of, is that given a number or is that given a letter?
It depends on the person who's collecting it.
Okay? Exhibit number 11. What do we see here?
It's a photograph of the items inside of the washing machine.
Can you tell what this is?
I believe it was a towel.
Oh, this right here.
That is the camera, which was displayed earlier here in court.
And exhibit number 14. So, yellow items, 38, 39. What are the items?
Once again, those are, they're called placards, and they're denoting an item of evidence that we're going to collect. We put a placard down on an item of evidence. We photograph it before we collect it.
And exhibit number 15 shows us what?
That is the camera with placard number 38 next to it.
Is this the camera that? Yes, it's exhibit number 214?
Yes.
And exhibit 16 shows us the camera thing, correct?
Yes.
Senator, may we approach?
You may. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take the afternoon recess. Please be back in the designated area at 3:15. Please remember the admonition. You are excused. Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Mr. Martinez, you may continue.
Your name, sir?
Esteban Flores?
And you're the person testifying previously before the break?
Yes.
Sir, during prior proceedings, the prior trial in this case, were you present when a 45-minute conversation between Travis Alexander and the defendant was played?
Yes, I was.
And this conversation, as it was explained, what phone did it come off of?
I believe it was a Helio phone.
And this Helio phone with this conversation on it, was it ever submitted for analysis by the Mesa Police Department?
No.
And are you familiar with a Helio phone that was reported stolen back on May 10th of 2008?
Yes.
Any idea where this telephone conversation came from?
Objection, burden shifting.
Overruled.
No.
You know the individual that processed the telephone. In other words, do you know his name?
Yes, his name was Lonnie Dworkin.
And he's the individual that was testified. Who was he called to testify by?
He was called to testify by the defense.
So let's talk about now exhibit number 17. What are we looking at here?
These were items that were taken out of the washing machine that we saw earlier.
And what are these? You were there. What are these?
Those were socks, and that's a towel.
Why does that towel look like a spotted leopard? It's got kind of funny spots on it. What is that?
Well, the towel is obviously wrinkled. It had been in there for a while, but it appears it had been bleached somehow.
Exhibit number 18. Is this just sort of a progression of the items? Is this the same towel?
Yes,
This white spot, is that the bleaching that you're talking about?
yes.
Is the color of the towel the bigger one, or is the color of the towel the lighter one? Sorry.
The-
Is the color of the towel the darker one or the lighter?
Objection foundation, you didn't see the towels previous to this event.
Sustained.
Were you there?
Yes,
The towels were pulled out of the washing machine? Yes. Did you see them in person?
yes.
So, this towel that we're talking about here, is the color of the towel darker or lighter? Could you tell from looking at them at the same?
Same objection, Your Honor, you didn't see him beforehand, before June 10th.
Overruled. You may answer. Could you tell?
Yes, I could tell, and it was darker.
And what could you tell? Which one was darker or lighter?
It was darker. The white area appeared to be the bleached area.
Exhibit number 19. What is this? What are we looking at?
Other items that were taken out of the same washing machine?
So these were all in the same washing machine, correct?
Yes.
What is this right here?
That is a pair of undergarments.
Can you see undergarments? Why didn't you just say underwear? Or is there something special about these?
Those are male undergarments, actually considered garments in the LDS religion.
And what does that mean?
In the LDS religion, if you're temple worthy, you're also tasked with wearing special undergarments.
And this is one of the undergarments. Yes. Was it in with the towel, the socks, and this stuff that you see here?
Yes.
Take a look at exhibit number 20. What do we see here?
It's another photograph of the laundry room, washer and dryer.
By looking at it, you know what 37 is?
I believe it's either the digital card from the camera or a piece of the camera.
And we do have some things marked here. See these two? This is the dryer, right?
Yes.
Were there any items in the dryer?
Yes.
What was in the dryer?
There was more bedding from the master bedroom.
When you say there was bedding from the master bedroom, what are you talking about specifically?
Sheets, pillowcases. I'm not sure if there was a duvet cover or something in there.
Okay. So in terms of the number of loads, we're talking about 2 loads then.
Yes.
Exhibit number 21. What are we looking at? What is this down here? Number 40, item number 40.
Number 40 was a piece of duct tape, gray in color.
Exhibit 22, is that a close-up of it?
Yes, it is.
Go over to exhibit 23 and shows us item 37, right?
Yes.
And exhibit 24, what is it?
That is the memory stick from the camera.
Were they taken apart, or was it there, or how did that happen, that the memory stick is there and the camera's not there?
Detective Mike Melendez, who just testified, took the items out of the washing machine itself and put them on top to be photographed.
Exhibit number 25. What are we looking at there?
Items inside the dryer.
And exhibit number 26. What is that?
A close-up view of the same items.
And there's a number of them, right?
Yes, item 41.
Exhibit 27. First of all, where is this photograph taken?
That is taken downstairs on the living room floor.
And this white stuff that everything's on?
That's butcher paper that we use for evidence collection, and the items are laid on top so they don't contaminate anything else.
And this right here is what?
That is a towel.
And exhibit number 28. What is that?
The same items from a different angle, a pair of sweatpants and a towel.
Were these found in the dryer?
Yes, they were.
Exhibit number 29. What are we looking at there?
The pillowcases
And exhibit number 30.
and a sheet.
Were these the items that were found in the dryer?
Yes.
Well, let's take a look at exhibit number 166. First of all, you see the time on there?
1:44:50 p.m.
And you see this right here?
Yes.
If we take a look at exhibit number 30, this related to this right here.
Yes.
How is it related?
They're one and the same.
And some of the other items that you see, and again, the time here is 1:44:50, right?
Yes.
And then, see this pillowcase there? Was
Yes.
that also found as part of that load?
Yes, it was.
While you were there, did you find any rope anywhere?
No.
Did you find a knife, for example, in the master bedroom anywhere?
No.
Did you find a knife anywhere in the bathroom?
No, I did not.
When you're conducting, for example, the search of the, let's say, the bedroom area, explain to me in this case specifically what it was that you did to look for items of evidence just in the bedroom proper, the place with the carpet.
We first went in and photographed everything as it was. Once it's photographed in place, we begin to locate items of evidence or items that we believe might be evidence and place those placards down or those little stickers. We look at under the bed, in the closet, bathroom, master bedroom, I mean, everywhere where we could find an item that we could possibly use as evidence.
Well, let's take a look at exhibit number 249. Familiar with this?
Yes, that is a diagram of the master bedroom suite.
The bed that we've been talking about, do you see this right here?
Yes,
Is that the bed?
yes
Did
it
you
is.
look all around the bed to see whether or not there was any rope anywhere?
Yes.
Find any?
No.
How about knife? Did you find any knife anywhere in this portion of the bedroom?
No.
And this right here is what?
That's the entryway, double door entryway into the bedroom?
So is that also a way to get out of the bedroom?
Yes.
Is there any other way to get it short of a window? This is the second floor, correct?
Yes, it is.
Short of jumping out of the window, is that the only way out?
That is the only way out.
The door, was it found locked or unlocked by the people that went there? Who found the body?
It was locked.
And this area here is what?
That's a walk-in closet.
And there's openings here, but are there doors there, or are they just openings?
There's doors there.
And right here, what is that?
That's the shower where Travis's body was found.
And right here, what is that?
That's the bathtub.
You look everywhere through there to see whether or not you could find a knife.
Yes.
And did you look everywhere there to see whether or not there was a gun anywhere here?
We didn't find a gun.
But did you look? That's different than what you found.
Yes, we looked.
And were you doing this yourself, or were there other people there?
I had other detectives assisting me.
So, and how many days did it take to complete the search warrant of this particular area here?
It took 3 days.
So it wasn't like you went in and looked, is it something that you took your time?
Yes, I was very thorough.
So, for example, number one, are you familiar with what that is? Just by looking at it.
That was a shell casing.
And what was the caliber of that shell casing?
It was a 25 auto.
And 25 caliber?
Yes.
And this is where you said body was on, right?
Yes.
Right around here, is there anything found on the wall?
Yes, there were blood-stained patterns on the wall.
Well, there were more than bloodstains found on the wall. Wasn't there something else? Were there any fingerprints that were found?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Was there?
Yes, there were fingerprints found on the wall.
And those fingerprints, who did they turn out to belong to? Who did they belong to?
To Jodi Arias.
And do you know whether or not it was the palm or his fingers? What was it?
It was the left palm.
So the left palm is right here, correct? The 25 caliber casing is here. Is that what you said? And the body is where it's designated.
Yes.
The washing machine, they're not on this diagram. Where are they?
Washing machines and laundry room were downstairs.
And to get downstairs, describe for me what you have to do. How do you get downstairs from this top?
From the master bedroom, you have to walk out the double doors. Right outside the double doors, there is a stairway leading straight down into the living room kitchen area. And then there's a hallway that about 20, 25 feet that you have to travel down. And it leads you to the laundry room.
Is there a dog here?
Yes,
What was the color of the dog?
it was black.
And when the search warrant was being executed, what happened to the dog?
Taken by friends.
And the name of the dog, did you find out?
Napoleon
And who did the dog belong to? Who were you told it belonged to?
belonged to the victim, Travis Alexander.
And where was its food in terms of dog and being fed, that sort of thing?
Downstairs.
In speaking with the other individuals in the house, did they indicate that they fed the dog or not?
Objection as to relevance.
Overruled.
Yes, when Travis would leave, they indicated that they would take care of the dog when he was gone.
The dog, was it found inside the bedroom or outside of the bedroom by the people that found the body?
It was outside of the bedroom, downstairs.
Exhibit 31, what are we looking at here?
The laundry room again?
Which portion, what direction is this?
That's facing north.
And exhibit 32, where are we facing here?
That's facing east. As I explained, there's a long hallway, and the hallway ends up at the laundry room.
The garage door that we were talking about, is it to the left or to the right?
It's to the right.
Exhibit number 33. What do we see here?
That's the long hallway I mentioned before, leading into the laundry room.
You see this, what appears to be a door here, do you see that there?
Yes, to the left.
What is there?
There is a den or office,
And to the right, you see that white part, what is there?
and that's a bathroom.
So exhibit number 34, what are we looking at there?
I believe that's leading into the den office area.
Exhibit number 35, what is that?
It's kind of dark, but that is the office.
And right here would be what?
Laundry room.
Take a look at exhibit 36, what is that?
A better view of the office.
And exhibit 37, what is that?
That's an inside view of the office.
Any knife found in there?
No.
Any gun found in there?
No.
But exhibit 38, looks like you have something there marked, right?
Yes.
And exhibit 39 shows us, what is it?
That's a check written to Travis Alexander from Jodi Arias.
What's the date on it?
It is 5/25/08 or May 25th of 2008.
And it does say something on the left. Do you see that?
Yes.
What does it say?
In the notes, it says car payments, April and May 2008.
It does indicate an address on it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Back, your understanding, back in May of 2008, where was the defendant living?
In May of 2008
Yeah.
in Wairika, California.
And the institution provided this check as food.
That's a check from Washington Mutual.
Exhibit number 40. What do we see here?
A photograph of the desk area in the office
And exhibit 41.
from the inside looking out.
Exhibit number 42. What is that?
That's the bathroom I mentioned earlier that's directly across from the office.
Exhibit number 43. What is this one?
A picture of the same bathroom.
And exhibit 44. But we see a 3 there. What does that mean?
There was a stain or a mark that we wanted to collect and swab.
Exhibit number 45.
That's a picture of the sink in that same bathroom with number 3, another stain or something that caught our eye, so we wanted to collect it.
Exhibit 46. What are we looking at?
That same number 3, just a close-up shot.
Exhibit number 47. What is this? What is this thing?
Stairway that leads up to the second story of the home.
And you see this red thing?
Yes.
What is it?
It's like a punching bag.
And the laundry room, where is it in relation to this?
It's left of that red punching bag.
You continue on down the hallway?
Yes.
And the front door, is it this way?
It is to the right.
Is there a sliding glass door anywhere here?
Yes, it is on the left, there where your pin is, yes.
Exhibit 48. What do we see?
That's a photograph looking towards the front door from the back door.
This area here is what?
Kitchen.
And this right here.
That's Napoleon's food.
49. What are we looking at?
Front room near the front door.
What is this?
It's like a little a small cage that or a barrier that's put up so the dog doesn't run around the house.
Exhibit number 50.
Another photograph of the kitchen area.
And exhibit number 51. What do we see?
That's near the front door looking towards the kitchen and living room area.
So if somebody wanted to get into this house, could they get in through the front door here?
Yes,
Could they get into the sliding glass door?
yes,
And could they get into the garage?
yes.
Any other way to get into this house?
There was a small doggy door, about it.
Right, exhibit number 52. What are we looking at there?
It's a photograph from the stairs, in front of the stairs to the back of the house. And you can see the sliding glass door and the doggy door on the left.
And this is the doggy door right there, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit 53. Where now, this red thing, what is that?
That's that same exercise bag, punching bag.
And here where we headed?
It is photographed from the kitchen looking up the stairway.
And anywhere underneath in that lower floor, any knives found?
There were knives found in the kitchen.
Other than that, anywhere else?
No,
Any knives or any guns found there?
no.
Exhibit number 54. What do we see?
The stairway leading up to the master bedroom that you can see on the left there.
And exhibit 55.
It's another vantage point, the same stairway leading up and the master bedroom to the left.
Exhibit number 58. What are we looking at?
That's a loft area on the second floor and the double doors leading into the master bedroom suite.
What are these right here?
Bean bags,
Are they small bean bags or big bean bags?
they're large.
And exhibit number 59. What are we looking at here?
That's a kind of from the same vantage point. You see the bean bags and you can see item 31, which is a camera bag.
And exhibit number 60 is what?
A close-up of that same camera bag.
And exhibit number 61. See that?
Yes.
This camera that we've been talking about, the one with the inverted photographs and the photograph showing the tryst, which is exhibit 214, was there an attempt to see whether or not it fit in?
Yes.
And did it?
Yes.
Take a look at exhibit 62. Now, first of all, orient us whether it's north, south, east, or west.
That is facing north, and we're in the loft area with the stairway leading downstairs to the left, and we're looking directly into the double doors leading into the master bedroom.
What are these right here?
It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like pillows.
Take a look at exhibit 63. Do we see those pillows there?
Yes.
And
There's a couch, chair, ottoman, and a bunch of throw pillows. There's more throw pillows underneath those, the white pillows as well.
look at the bed. What is on the bed?
The bed has been stripped. It's just a mattress, a duvet.
And exhibit number 64. What do we see?
The same bedroom, pair of flip-flop sandals, and the bed, and then you can see into the closet entryway.
And exhibit number 65. What kind of bed is this? What's the frame? What would you call it?
Sleigh bed?
And exhibit number 66. Any rope anywhere there?
Any rope?
Rope,
No.
any knife anywhere there? No. Any gun anywhere there?
No.
Exhibit number 67. What are we looking at here?
The same master bedroom. You can see the double door entryway into the bedroom. To the left is a closet door. It's a walk-in closet. It has goes down the same direction that hallway does, and then there's another doorway that leads into the bathroom.
This door right here, you indicated that it was locked when friends showed up. Do you know how they were able to get in?
One of the roommates, I believe it was Zach Billings, went and recovered a key that he had and unlocked it.
So if it was locked from the outside, would it require a key to lock from the inside? In other words, the person we're leaving, does it require a key to lock it, or can it be locked from the inside without a key?
It can be locked before someone closes the door.
And in all of this bedroom, did you find what appeared to be blood, or did you find any blood?
Yes.
Aside from here, or did it just there?
It started there.
And where did it go?
It led down that hallway into the master bathroom.
But did you find it anywhere in the master bedroom itself? No. 68 shows us.
Those are those, the sandals, which I mentioned earlier in another photograph.
Exhibit 69. What do we see here?
That's a view of the walk-in closet. that parallels that same hallway leading into the bathroom, and you can see the doorway that leads into the bathroom as well.
See this right here, what are those?
Those are pants.
They're all hung, right? Any of them on the floor? You see any of them on the floor now?
No, just suitcases and so forth.
What are these?
Ties,
And these right here?
shoes.
Exhibit number 70, what does that show?
Just a close-up view of those same items.
And this door, where does it lead?
Leads into the master bathroom.
Exhibit number 71. What are these right here
The pants,
that we previously saw?
yes.
And this door, where does it lead to?
The small doorway in the back, sink, and that door is a small closet in the bathroom.
Is this a single or a double vanity?
It's a double vanity.
Exhibit 72. What are we looking at there?
That's a picture from inside the master bathroom, looking at the shower and the tub on the right.
What is this right here?
That's the doorway leading into the closet.
And this, what is that?
That's the body of Travis Alexander.
This here, what is that?
That's a robe that was hung up.
These items right here.
That is,
Were some of them tested? Yes. And are you familiar with the term Castlemeyer?
yes,
Is it a presumptive test for blood?
yes,
And did those turn out to be blood?
yes.
Exhibit number 73. What do we see here?
That's the shower inside the bathroom with Travis's body.
Take a look at exhibit 141. Is that the same shower?
Yes.
Exhibit 74. What do we see here?
It's Travis's body inside the shower.
What is that one there?
It's a plastic cup, which we also found in the shower.
Is this the condition the body was found, or did members of the Mesa Police Department clean it up in any way, shape, or form?
That's the condition that it was found in.
So this, what I'm calling pristine, without blood, that's the condition it was found in?
Yes.
Exhibit number 160. Alexander leaning against, is this the north or is this the south?
That's the north.
If we take a look at exhibit number 74, this where he was sitting against.
Yes. His body is opposite of what it was in the other photograph.
Exhibit 75. What do we see?
A close-up view of Travis's face and neck area.
Look at the eyes, do they know whether or not they're half open?
Yes.
Exhibit number 76. What are we looking at here?
Close-up view of Travis's body, and you can see the plastic cup. next to him.
And at 177, what do we see?
The bottom portion of Travis's body.
To the 78. Now we're seeing placards. What is going on in terms of the investigation?
At this point, we've located items of interest, items that we want to collect, either swab or actually pick up, package and collect for, so we can analyze it later. And so we place placards down on those items.
Exhibit number 79. See that?
Yes.
And this right here. What, are you familiar with the term transfer of blood?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means when, for instance, if an item has blood on it and it touches another item, it leaves a transfer of that blood on the second item.
Looking at this, and having reviewed the report of Lisa Perry, can you tell us what this means here?
There was an item that had blood on it, which touched that baseboard and left blood on the baseboard.
And the touching, does this include any movement? Does that show any movement associated with the touching?
Yes.
How do you know that?
It starts on one end, which is on one corner, and leads to the opposite end.
And we see number 2 there, right?
Yes.
Going back to exhibit number 78, we see where number 2 is, correct?
Yes.
We also see a 3 there, right?
Yes.
Exhibit number 80. What is that?
That's some type of tassel. It was brown in color with blood on it.
And number 81. What do we have there?
Placard number 4, which is to denote an item on the shower door, which is another, appears to be tassel with some hair.
This area here? That.
That's more blood transfer.
Exhibit 82. So what's this?
That's the shower with Travis's body.
And this right here?
The robe, which we saw earlier.
And what's in here?
That is the toilet room.
And right here?
That is a scale that was on the floor.
Exhibit 38. What is this right here?
Travis's body in the shower.
And you see this right here? Yes. How was that deposited there? We're talking about what? Next to the room.
That appears to be blood spatter.
You say that's blood spatter. What does that mean in terms of?
As I explained earlier, transfer is where an item has blood on it, touches another item. Spatter is something which sends blood airborne and lands on an item.
So for example, if there's a source that's standing there and it has blood on it, something hits it, will it move in that direction and cause that kind of sign?
Yes.
And you're familiar, obviously you're familiar with gravity, right?
Yes.
Does this have anything to do with gravity, this part right here?
Yes, it's similar to if you get paint that's really thick and it'll drip down.
Exhibit 84. What do we see here?
That's the bathtub itself next to the shower. Then there's the toilet room to the right, and you can see some blood spatter patterns on the bottom of the door casing.
Again, these are much lower than this one in exhibit number 80, correct?
Yes.
In terms of 83, does that give you any idea as to where the source was in relationship to where it ended?
The source would be at a higher level,
Why do you say it would be at a higher level?
just by looking at where it landed.
And how about exhibit number 84? Is that right there?
Yes.
Where would the source be? That one.
Lower to the floor.
What does that mean? Is the source near the floor? Is that what it is?
Yes, source is near the floor.
And again, there was some pressure applied to a source causing the blood to hit there.
Yes.
Number 85, you see this right here?
Yes.
What was that?
That is a bath mat next to the tub. That's a blood stain.
And do you know what kind of stain it is? How it was deposited there?
It was either spatter or blood droplet.
And blood droplet, are you talking about gravity on that one?
Yes.
Which means what, the source was over it? And
Source was over it and it dropped down to it.
exhibit 86. What do we see here?
Some more blood stains off to the right of the toilet room and a large deposit of blood right there in the middle.
And again, this deposit, how was that accomplished?
With that amount of blood, person bleeding would have to have been there for some time for that much blood to accumulate.
And if you see that there, and you see this here, what does that tell you of the source of this? Was it down here, and something struck the source and it hit that way, or can you tell us anything with regard to that?
Objection leading and cause for speculation.
Overall, to me, answer yes or no.
Yes.
And you can tell us, right?
Yes.
What can you tell us?
I can tell that the person who was bleeding was in this general area where the large amount of pooling is, and the items of blood on the left and the right could have been deposited by somebody striking that person, or that person having blood on their hands or on an item.
Exhibit number 87. See that?
Yes.
Is that something that you described as blood spatter or not?
Yes.
See this down here?
Yes.
Exhibit number 88. Toilet, right?
Yes, it is.
Exhibit number 89. Also toilet, right?
Yes.
And we get to exhibit number 90. What do we see here?
Some more of the blood spatter pattern.
So what does it mean? How is it accomplished that this, where was the source first of all?
The source was in front of the toilet. I'm not sure exactly how far, but it correlates to that same blood stain that we saw outside.
And in order for it to come this way, was there some force applied to the source?
Yes.
What do these patterns tell you about the source?
The source was in front of that wall and was deposited on that wall at that level, and it was and it had flowed down and dripped down at that point.
Was there force applied to the source to create this pattern?
Yes.
What do we see?
That same wall from a different angle. You have the blood staining to the left and the same blood spatter pattern on the wall.
Exhibit 93. Was this door open when you got there, or did you guys open it?
It was open.
In terms of a scene, is everything left the way it was found?
Yes.
And these are the two sinks that you told us about?
Yes, they are.
What are these right here?
Scales.
And exhibit 94. What do you have there?
The same two scales.
And the patterns that you see here, tell us anything about the source.
The source was in the same area where the larger blood stain was.
Are these here deposited there by force, or are they deposited by gravity? Can you tell? And I will show you exhibit number 95.
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled demands for yes or no. Can you tell?
I cannot tell.
Exhibit number 96. See that?
Yes.
The stain. Previously, it was, you hear that it was deposited underneath the scale. You remember that?
Yes.
How is it that a stain like this, and underneath a scale like that, is it that it runs in there, or how does that happen?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained is phrased.
Well, you found this scale that way, correct?
Yes.
The blood was underneath it, right?
Yes.
And in terms of its deposit, given the shape, in your opinion, could that scale have been in that position when that blood was deposited?
Objection calls for speculation, lack of foundation or knowledge.
It could have been.
How so?
By the way the stains look, if there was a lot of water in the area, it could have pushed the blood underneath and then the water evaporated.
Exhibit number 97, first of all. What do we see here?
That's under the sink area in the bathroom.
And what's this?
It's a pet stain remover.
Resolve, right?
Yes.
And here, what is that?
Soap.
Aisle, right?
Yes.
And this right here?
Toilet paper.
That's how you found it.
Yes.
And this item right here?
It's a sponge.
What are we looking at here?
That's the double vanity sink.
Previously, number 1, you indicated was a 25 caliber casing from exhibit 249. You told us that was right here. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can we see that place in exhibit number 97 or not?
Yes, you can.
See this right here? What is that?
That's the 25 caliber casing.
At 98. What are we looking at here?
That's a close-up view of the right sink and blood.
Well, there appear to be different patterns here. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
And this pattern here, how would you characterize that?
I would characterize that as diluted blood.
As what?
Diluted blood?
Right? But but the action in placing it there. How would that be placed there? Do you know? Can you tell by it or not?
I can't tell.
Is there any movement that you can see associated with that or not?
There is movement.
And what does that movement tell you about the source or somebody touching the blood?
Somebody above the sink was bleeding onto the sink, and there was an addition of water, and then there was movement back and forth on the sink.
But this right here, is that the same as this right here?
No.
Why not?
Like I explained, the other one was diluted. That one is not diluted, and it appears to be droplets of blood.
So in other words, the source was above the sink when it deposited.
Yes.
The source of blood, whoever was bleeding or whatever was going on, the source was above that area there.
Yes.
How about right here?
It's the same kind of action. The source was above the sink, bleeding into the sink.
But one of the things that you noticed previously was that there was water, something associated with water here. Do you see the same sort of action associated with what's in the bowl?
No.
So the source of the water, do you see what this is here?
It's the sink,
But this right here.
the faucet.
Is that a source of water?
Yes, it is.
But there's no water according to this hasn't been touched by water according to you, right?
Correct.
So what does that tell you about the source of the water that touched this?
It was a different source.
Right here, can you see this right here?
Yes.
And how would you characterize that? How would you call that?
That's another form of blood spatter. More particular, it's what we call aspirated blood, which means there's blood in the mouth or the nose, and it's ejected from the mouth and the nose at a higher velocity.
And we were looking at this area right here, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit number 100, does that show us more on view of it?
Yes.
Let's take a look at exhibit 101. There's tiny droplets, but there's also some other action going on there. What is that about?
It appears to be an addition of water to that from some other source.
And exhibit number 103, what do we see here?
It's a view from the top of the sink, and it gives you a better idea of the blood spatter on the left front of the sink and the sink itself.
And this shows you, this is where you were talking about, that didn't show any activity of water inside the bowl.
Yes.
And exhibit number 104, this is what we're talking about, the water and the movement. Is that correct?
Yes, the diluted blood, something being wet, touching it.
Exhibit 105, what does that show us?
Droplets from directly above.
Now, exhibit number 109, remember I asked you if you ever moved things, exhibit 109, the door's closed, right?
Yes.
Why is the door closed? I thought that things never got moved.
Well, once it's photographed and we can annotate where everything was, if we need to collect an item of evidence, we can begin to move items at that point.
And was there something there of interest there?
The shell casing,
And that's this right here.
yes.
You see this right here?
Yes.
closet you previously spoke to me about.
Yes, it is.
What can you tell me about that pattern there that's on the box?
Pattern on the box, it indicates there was blood in the area, possibly with the addition of water, and it acts like a candle wick, and that's what it's called. It's a wicking action, and it sucks up the blood and the water.
And right in front of it, what is that?
Blood stain.
How is that deposited there? By looking at that, can you tell how it was deposited or not?
I can't tell how it was deposited, but
Objection not responsive was a yes or no question.
Okay.
And you can't tell something from where it is and the size of it, can you?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
What can you tell?
I can tell that whatever was bleeding, whoever was bleeding, was in that area for a long period of time.
When you say a long period of time, can you quantify it or is it just a period of time?
A period of time.
Is it 110? What is that?
It's a close-up photo of the shell casing.
And exhibit 111?
A closer view.
Well, one of the things I want to talk to you about is blood in here, right?
Yes.
There's no blood on top of the casing, right?
No.
What does that tell you about the casing and when it was deposited there or landed there?
The
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled.
What does it tell you?
blood was deposited and the casing was
First, you mean?
first.
Objection leading. Move to strike.
Tell me what this tells you.
This tells me that the blood was on the floor first and a casing was deposited after.
Exhibit number 112? Now what are we looking at?
Of the same area, item number 1 is a placard that was placed next to the shell casing.
And do you see this right here?
Yes.
We previously talked about a towel, and you indicated that it had some, you believe, some bleaching action. The color of this towel, did it have, in your opinion, any resemblance or any affinity towards the other towel that you saw in the washer?
Yes.
Any sense?
It was the same color and the same type of towel.
Exhibit number 115. What are we seeing here?
Another view of the placard number 1 with the shell casing.
And exhibit number 114. Those are twisted.
Yes, a close-up view.
What is this? What are we looking at here?
The linen closet inside of the bathroom, the same box.
What's right here?
Some more placards, items of evidence that we collected.
And exhibit 116? What is that?
Another angle, another photograph of that same closet. You can see the box in the background.
And exhibit 117? What are we looking at?
It's a blood stain outside of the closet, and you can see the box there at the bottom.
Exhibit 118? What are you looking at?
The same box, and you can see the wicking action of the blood and water.
What do we see?
That's a look from the bathroom, looking back into the master bedroom, and we laid placards down on items of evidence that we're going to collect.
And this hallway from here to here, take a look at exhibit number 249. What's the distance?
On one side, it's 12 feet, 6 inches. Yes, 12 feet, 6 inches.
And the other wall, how far is that?
11 feet, 4 inches.
Exhibit number 120. What do we see here?
You can see bloodstain patterns throughout the hallway floor, the tile.
Is there any indication that there's any water activity there?
Yes,
Where?
all over. As you can see around item 7, you can see bloodstain patterns, and the very edges are kind of a lighter color. They appeared washed away.
Exhibit number 121. This action here, is that a transfer pattern?
That is a transfer pattern, yes.
Exhibit 126. See this pattern here?
Yes,
Is that also a transfer pattern?
that is a transfer pattern.
How is that accomplished in terms of being reflected?
That type of transfer would indicate that something with blood on it rubbed up against the wall and was dragged along the wall.
And exhibit 127. Here you can see, there's that carpet.
I can't tell what that
Show you
is.
the photograph. So,
It's hard to see.
right.
Okay.
Is that carpet there?
That is carpet from the bedroom.
So which wall would this be?
That would be the west wall.
And that being the west wall, if you take a look at exhibit 126, what wall would this be?
Appears to be the east wall.
Exhibit 128. What do we see here?
This is the carpet area from the bedroom looking down the hallway to the master bath. And there's a large blood pattern on the carpet itself.
In terms of the source, what does that tell you about the source?
The source was there for a time period.
What about this, right here? What does that tell you? What are those patterns?
That's a lighter pattern of blood, and it appeared somebody was trampling in the blood in that area, or either, it's a transfer, basically.
Exhibit 130. That pattern that we've been talking about?
That's the same pattern.
What is this right here?
That's one of the sandals that we saw in earlier photographs.
Throughout that room, other than here, is there any blood found on the carpet anywhere?
No.
.131. What do we see here?
It's the same carpeted area with a photograph taken directly above the carpet.
And exhibit 133, there's carpet. What is this right here? First of all, what wall is that?
That is the east wall, and that's another transfer pattern. And it denotes what we call a either swipe or a wipe pattern.
This right here? Is that right there?
It's the electrical outlet.
look at exhibit number 137. This is sort of the same thing that we've been looking at, except that now everything's on black, right?
Yes.
Why is that?
Part of collecting evidence is trying to find fingerprints, and that's the black powder that we use to find fingerprints.
And exhibit 139. What are we looking at there?
That is the same hallway leading into the bathroom, and it's the west wall.
And exhibit 140, what is that?
That is a print, either handprint, fingerprint.
And is this the, you know, who Heather Connor is?
Yes.
Who is she?
She is a latent print examiner with the Mesa Police Department.
Was she out there at the scene?
Yes, she was.
And did she lift this, take that, examine it?
Yes. She found the print on that same wall.
And is that the print that she identified?
Yes,
Who was it identified to?
Jodi Arias.
And what part of the, which hand was it?
It was the left palm print.
It's just at this time, but you will be.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take the evening recess. Please be back tomorrow morning at 9:30. Please be back at 9:30. We will start promptly at that time. Please remember the admonition. Are there any questions? Thank you. You are excused.
All rise.